views expressed on this program are not those of IntellectualRadio.com, its subsidiaries, or sponsors. Encouraging, educating, and empowering you into action. This is Warriors Talk with your host, Lady Rochelle.
Good evening, Warriors, and welcome to Warriors Talk, the space where we are intentional about moving from awareness towards taking action. I'm so excited about the show tonight. I am your host, Lady Rochelle, and this is a platform that exists because awareness alone does not save lives. Education does, advocacy does, and action does. And tonight's conversation is going to be real, honest, and layered because survivorship needs to be celebrated. So go ahead, grab your coffee, grab your teas and your journals, and let's get the conversation going. If you missed the last episode of Warriors Talk, go to YouTube and type in Intellectual Radio and stay connected for any episodes that you may have missed. Rizal and I talked about, are you in love or are you just lonely? You don't want to miss that episode. I'm so grateful for our sponsor on today. We have Pastor Michael Richardson with the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ, and he has a special message for us.
Greetings, I am Pastor Michael Richardson.
And I am First Lady Anastasia Richardson from the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. We're located at 3058 West Van Buren in Chicago, Illinois. We are building upon a solid foundation.
We're inviting you to join us every Sunday morning on Facebook Live at Emmanuel Kojic at 10:15 Central Standard Time. And you can also view our videos on our YouTube channel at Emmanuel Kojic-MR. Once again, this is Pastor Michael Richardson
and First Lady Anastasia Richardson, and we are from the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. We are building upon a solid foundation.
Tonight we're talking about cancer, the gift that keeps on giving. And we're going to start with the aftermath that no one prepares you for. When you hear the words, you're cancer free, you assume that the story is over, but survivorship actually comes with many different layers. And so let's talk about some of those layers on tonight. And the first layer is the physical aftershock of cancer. Your body goes through different things that you wouldn't even think your body would go through. Number one would be chronic fatigue. A lot of times when you have chemo, your body feel fatigued from the chemo and just the cancer treatment itself. But when you're done with treatment, you expect that your body should return back to normal, but it doesn't. That fatigue always exists, not as heavy as it did when you was in treatment, but that fatigue always exists. I can find myself doing something. It could be dancing, it could be exercising, and I could get to a point and my body it will feel fatigue. It won't let me get past like a certain point because that fatigue is going to always remind me like, remember what that chemo did? It wiped out those good cells and those bad cells. And you really never rebuild your immune system to the way that it was. Like there's something that's in your immune system that once that chemo, those toxins, chemicals wipes it out, there's no way to replace it. Some people deal with neuropathy, which is something that I deal with. Neuropathy deals with your nerves in your body. Sometimes I feel like it feels like a person that has arthritis to where You feel like you're paralyzed. I could be driving, I could be um, blown dry my hair, and your fingers would just kind of stiffen and freeze up. And there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to wait for that moment to pass. And thank God that it hasn't happened to where I've had an accident when I was driving, because trust me, like your foot is just kind of just tightens up until like almost, some people it may tighten in a ball, some people it just may stiffen up to whatever whatever you're doing at that time, it'll just take on that shape and just stiffens. And you really have to just wait until it passes. Now, it normally, for me, it normally doesn't last more than maybe 10, 15 seconds at the most. But if I'm driving, 10, 15 seconds can cause an accident, So I don't take medicine for neuropathy only because I don't want to add anything else that's going to cause any type of side effects, because you take the neuropathy medicine, guess what? It's going to cause some type of side effects. So I kind of just deal with it. But for some people who are dealing with neuropathy, you may have numbness, tingling, you may have pain that may feel like it's burning, and then it also creates weakness as well. You may not be able to grip things like you used to, and walking, running can become an issue depending on how severe the neuropathy is. Some people have hormonal changes when it comes to cancer treatment. Again, because it's wiping out all of your good cells, all of those cells that are supposed to make you happy, make you healthy, is wiping it all out. So a lot of times women go through hormonal changes, and you may not be able to, I talk about fertility a lot. It wipes out your ability to have a child depending on the chemo that you take. Some people can do chemo and not have any issues, and they're able to have a child, they're able to have babies after, but it just depends on what type of chemo that you go through. Some people are not able to have any kids. So have that conversation with your doctor before. I always say have the conversation with your doctor if you are of age to have children and you want to have children, then talk to them before you go through any type of cancer treatment. You can probably, if you have the money, freeze your eggs or your sperm, store it. It's an issue. It's an option for you, but you would have to act fast before they try to rush you into treatment. Another physical aftershock is surgical pain. Sometimes when you have cancer treatment, you may get a double mastectomy where they're taking off both breasts. Some people get a single mastectomy where they may only take off one. You may get a lumpectomy where they're taking out tissue where the cancer is, and they're just taking out a lump from wherever it is. So you may have pain in that area. Some people may have pain from, they use their own fat to do breast reconstructive surgery. And so they may take from your stomach, they may take from your legs. It just depends. They may take from your back. It depends on where they take that fat from to replace it. You may be left with pain. And this is pain that may never go away. I still have numbness in my arm from where they took the lymph nodes out. They took out the 16 lymph nodes, and it's numbness in that arm. It's kind of weird. It feels kind of weird if somebody touches me and they look at me like, I can't feel it because it's numb there. And they say, oh, it'll come back over time, but it's been 13 years and that has not returned. It doesn't paralyze me from doing anything, but it's still numbness in this arm. Some people have what we call chemo brain. So you may have memory issues once you're going through treatment, and even after treatment, you may not be able to recall certain things. and you may be upset with yourself, and it has nothing to do with you. It's just the chemo. It's a side effect of the chemo. And some people may get back to normal and not have any issues as it relates to chemo brain after treatment, but there are a lot of people who are still dealing with chemo brain. And I would say the one thing that you probably could do, when I first was done with treatment, I would write stuff down a lot so that I wouldn't forget it. I would make sure that if I'm having a conversation and I wanted to say something while somebody was talking, I would like write it down really quickly so I wouldn't, forget it. And then I'd be like, oh my goodness. It's not a good feeling. It really isn't. Oh, thank you, Diane, for tuning in. I appreciate it. It's not a good feeling to know that you once was able to recall different things, and then people say, hey, remember this, and you just like, no, I don't. I really don't. And you're not trying to be funny. You just don't. And don't feel bad about it. I mean, you went through a traumatic situation, so don't beat yourself up about it. Some people deal with lymphedema. As you can see, I wear a sleeve, and the reason why I wear a sleeve on this arm is because I have lymphedema, which is it's a buildup of protein, rich protein in your tissue. It could be in your arm, it could be in your leg, and it's caused by damage to your lymph system because of surgery, radiation, or if you have a tumor growing in that area. It presents swelling, discomfort. Your skin can change, so your skin feels really tough and hard. So if someone was to rub on my arm, it's going to feel really, really tough, like really, really thick. And the way that I deal with it is I'm supposed to wear the compression sleeve 24, well, as long as I'm up. As long as I'm up, I'm supposed to wear the compression sleeve. And it's just to only keep down the swelling. It doesn't cure it, it doesn't eliminate it. It's just to keep down the swelling in your arm. You can do physical therapy to where they can massage it to help push the lymph fluid, because it's toxic. The lymph fluid is supposed to help push toxins out of your body. And so you can go and get physical therapy and have them to massage it. You can look up videos on YouTube and you can do the exercises yourself. And you can have a surgical procedure to have it done. I'm just like, I don't want them doing anything. They already cut on it once and caused the lymphedema. Now I want you to go back in there and do something else. No, I don't. Just leave me alone. Some women go through early menopause, which is not a good feeling to push your body into early menopause. But for those individuals who are in menopause, what it causes. People complain about hot sweats all the time, cold sweats, not being able to sleep at night, the different hormonal changes, sexually, the changes. Like it's so many things that pushing your body into early menopause. And if you are, because women are being diagnosed with cancer at a younger age, if you are 35 years old, 30, 25, and you go through cancer treatment and it pushes your body through menopause, like how fair is that? And I'm going to be honest, your body never fully returns to how it was before. It doesn't. I don't care how hard you try. It doesn't. Not physically, not mentally, not emotionally. But we talk about that new normal all the time. You can find a way to deal with whatever residue that cancer left behind that tries to paralyze you from not moving forward. Find a way that somebody else went through it already. Somebody else is living through it. Just find a way to just keep pushing through it. If I got to wear the sleeve, I wear the sleeve. If I have to wait until the neuropathy passes for me to do whatever it is I have to do, that's just what I do. It, like I said, it doesn't paralyze me. Now, if it gets to a point to where it's debilitating, then yeah, then maybe I'll talk to my doctor about, okay, what else can we do? But for right now, it doesn't do that for me. For someone else, it might. The emotional echo when it comes to the aftermath that nobody prepares you for. Skin anxiety. If you talk to someone who is done with treatment or in treatment, we have skin anxiety. They call it skin anxiety because when you go through it and it's time for you to get a scan, some people have to get scans every year. Some people may get scans every 6 months. Just depends on, what your doctor tell you. When it's time for you to go and get that scan, you have so much anxiety. I don't care how long you've been going through this. I don't care how many scans you have had. You're going to have some type of anxiety when you have to get this scan done. And there is really nothing that can really take away that fear other than you just trying to be positive on your own. A lot of times I would read scriptures, I would pray. Some people would meditate, listen to music. Like there's so many things that you can do to kind of take your mind off of it. But trust me, when you have to do a scan, you're going to have scan anxiety. But don't let it overpower you. You want to get the scan because you want to get that information. So whatever the scan says, it may say nothing. If it does say something, then you have the power to get ahead of, take control of whatever the scan says versus you not knowing and just living in the unknown. We always say don't deny, but verify. And the scan helps you verify what's going on in your body. And I will say, don't let them over have you taken too many scans. Like, okay, is this scan necessary? Like, what is it going to do and what are the side effects? Like, because a lot of these scans do produce radiation in your body, and radiation does cause cancer. It does. And if you already been through radiation, who wants to be subject to more radiation? Nobody. Another aftermath of cancer would be the fear of recurrence, right? We think about that as cancer survivors. The one thing that you do think about, and it may be present in your mind when you first go through it, it may be like very present at the forefront, big, overwhelming. As you get years under your belt, you kind of it gets away. You start living life, you start planning, and it's not as heavy on you. But sometimes things can happen to bring it back and to the forefront of your mind. But don't let it overtake you. Don't let it allow yourself to live in that fear. Because you could drive yourself crazy. You could stress yourself out. And stress is a silent killer. And we don't want that. I talk about survivors' guilt, which is people who have passed on before you, like my sister passed of cancer, my father passed of cancer, and I'm just like, okay, Lord, why am I still here? Even my survivor sisters, when I hear that they passed, I'm just like, wow, that could have been me. And you have this survivor's guilt, like because we know that we don't do anything special to be here. There's nothing special really that I'm doing. I'm really at the mercy of God. I really am. I don't care how good I eat. I don't care how much I exercise. I don't care how many times I go to the doctor. It's whatever God will is for my life. And I just pray that his will is for me to be here as long as I can to live out my purpose, to enjoy my kids, my grandkids, my great grandkids, and, just to do what it is that he wants me to do, to touch all of those people that he has assigned to my purpose. So sometimes you're going to have that survivor's guilt, but know that you're here and you're here for a purpose, and you just have to find out what that purpose is and live in it, walk in it, and not allow yourself to feel guilty. There's this hyper awareness every time you have some type of ache or pain. right? And this is one of the aftermaths of cancer. If you have some type of ache or pain that may be lasting for a while, you don't know where it came from, you don't know it didn't come as a result of you exercising or as a result of you hurting yourself, you like, okay, what's going on? That must be the cancer. Oh Lord, the cancer's back. Any type of ache or pain, you're going to try to relate it to that. And yes, I want you to be on top of it. If something is lasting longer than 2-3 weeks and it's an ache, it's a pain, okay, then you should be trying to figure out where is it coming from, what's causing it. Call your doc. Don't get on the internet and typing in chat GPT trying to figure out what it is, or Google, because you're going to be done kill yourself. Oh Lord, I'm dying in 2 weeks. This is what Google said. No, don't do that. No. Call your doctor up and say, hey, I feel a pain or ache in this area. I'm not sure what it is. I didn't hurt myself or whatever. And just address it. Address it. And just remember that fear never, it doesn't disappear, right? It evolves. It doesn't disappear. It doesn't go away, but it evolves. It can evolve to where you use that fear. It empowers you to keep pushing through. You operate through the fear anyway. You use that fear to help motivate other people to take action with their health. And feeling fear doesn't make you weak. I always say it makes you human. So if you feel the fear, operate in it anyway. Do it anyway. Do it scared. Do it afraid. But do something. There is what we call financial toxicity when it comes to not even just the aftermath of cancer, but just cancer itself. Many people deal with that financial toxicity. And these are the things that cancer can leave behind. A lot of people are left with medical debt. You going through a cancer diagnosis, you may have more than just copays. There may be things that your insurance may not cover. And a lot of people do GoFundMe's. A lot of people are raising money. I know Tracy Kincaid, she was a guest on this show. I know she sells T-shirts, hats, trying to help her, her situation, because now she's dealing with stage 4 cancer, which when you're dealing with stage 4 cancer, it's more money because you're in treatment, could be for the rest of your life. And so there are going to be some financial things that come up that your insurance may not cover. You may not even be able to work. So there may be employment disruptions because of the treatment and the side effects from the treatment. You may not be able to work. So therefore your employment is disrupted, and you don't have insurance. So now you're having to battle with the insurance companies, or trying to figure out what you're going to do to cover these different tests that you have to do, the different treatment that you have to do. And the people that are giving you, that are administering these treatments, they have to get paid. So it's like, okay, where's this money coming from? Your income gets reduced. And when it's reduced, your food gets reduced, right? You may have to do away with some things. Should I get my medicine, or should I buy some food? The quality of food may disappear. You may not be able to eat as healthy as you want. You may have to go and get the quick processed stuff. Why? Because it's cheap, and at least I got something to eat. There are ongoing lingering costs when it comes to cancer, and it causes toxicity for those individuals that have to deal with it. It leaves residue. And the financial impact, it doesn't stop just because the chemo stopped. It keeps going long after cancer. for some. I was real fortunate as I was going through my cancer battle that I had insurance. I had adequate insurance. I had enough insurance to cover all of my bills, all of my copays when it came to my cancer treatment. I can only remember one time when my medicine, my insurance didn't cover my medicine for this shot that I needed right after I took this form of chemo, which was called the Red Devil. And you had to have a shot 24 hours after you took the chemo. And my portion of the copay for that shot was $100. So right after they gave me the chemo, they was like, okay, you need to go to pharmacy and pick up your shot. And then I go there and they like, it's $100. I'm like, I don't have $100 for no, I don't have $100. And so they said, okay, wait, we need to talk to the doctor because you have to have this shot. And I'm like, okay, I don't have it. And she was like, give it to her anyway. Just give it to her. She needs it. If she doesn't take it, then I'm going to be feeling the side effects that could be detrimental to my health. Give her the shot. And I don't remember hearing about that $100 after that. I have no idea who took care of it. I don't know. But again, that financial toxicity does not stop because of the treatment. So I'm grateful that I was one of the fortunate ones that my insurance did cover it, and I didn't have to do a GoFundMe. I didn't have to raise money or ask for money. Now, my coworkers did donate sick time to me so that for the days that I had to be out for treatment, I did get paid. Because let's face it, you use up just about all of your sick time. You may have to use up all of your vacation time just to get through treatment so that you can get paid so that your checks can look normal. And I'm grateful that they were able to donate sick time to me so that I would be able to be out for my days that I had to have treatment. There are going to be some relationships that shift when you go through treatment and after treatment. Some relationships grow stronger. Some don't survive the pressure of cancer. The dynamics of the relationship, trust me, they do change. In your marriage, in your friendships, with your family, everybody cannot handle what you're going through. Everybody don't even want to see you physically as you're going through. So don't feel bad if they don't come see you, if they don't reach out. Like some people can't handle that. They honestly they cannot. So don't take it personally. Just put them in a category as to these are my people, my day one supporters. These are my people who when they feel like reaching out, they'll reach out. And am I gonna be nasty to them? No. I'm gonna be cordial. But I just know where they fit in. And I know who my main support is. And the relationship with yourself is even gonna change, right? As you navigate through this ordeal. So give yourself some grace as you're going through. Don't be so hard on yourself as you're going through, as your body is going through. Nurture that relationship with yourself before you try to nurture it with anyone else. I often ask myself questions as I was going through. So I'm going to put these same questions on you if you're going through. And sometimes you may feel this way, but have you ever felt guilty for not being strong all the time? People will say, oh, be positive. That positive attitude is really going to get you through. It's what's going to heal you and help you get. The positive attitude, it'll help you mentally stay sane. Yeah, it does help. It's not 100% of what you need to heal you. No, it's a part of it. It is. And trust me, I felt guilty for sometimes not being strong, especially around my kids. Like, I never wanted them to see me not being strong. I wanted them to see who I was before, this superwoman I was before the cancer, you know. But it was a time that I couldn't. And I talked about this. It was a time where I couldn't take them to school because I didn't even have enough strength to turn the key in the car because my body was fatigued. I had to crawl back in the house and let my 15-year-old handle breaking the news to them that mommy has cancer through a book because I didn't do it because I didn't have enough strength. And I was trying to shield them from it because I didn't think they can handle it. So don't feel guilty because you don't feel strong all the time. No one should expect you to. And if they do, then those are people you need to just kind of distance yourself from until you are strong enough to get through it. Have you ever smiled publicly while you were struggling? You just struggling inside. And I'm not the type of person to where I want people to feel pity for me. I don't like when people be like, "How you doing? You okay? Are you okay?" Because I'm fine. Like, I don't like that. Don't pity me. Don't give me this little sad voice. No. So a lot of times I may or could have been struggling, but guess what? You're not gonna know it. My inner circle may know it. Like, girl, I can't do this today. Like, I can't. Like, I'm putting the covers over my head and I'm gonna come back up when right now I don't have the strength. But you're not gonna know it. My job, my supervisor knew, but by law he couldn't tell the rest of my coworkers, right? My coworkers didn't know about me going through cancer chemo until I was getting ready to go out for surgery. And I had to tell them because they had to cover my caseload when I was leaving. And they was like, "What? When did this happen?" Like, and then I had to say something to them. But I didn't say nothing because I didn't want anybody treating me like I was less than, like I was a weakling, like I couldn't do my job and pity me. And no, I didn't want that. And if you're approaching people like that, stop it. Stop it. A big part of cancer, because cancer gonna keep giving. Cancer gonna keep doing what it does, right? I don't care what we do, what we say, it's gonna keep giving. And so that's why I do the advocacy part of it, is because as long as cancer gonna keep giving, then the advocacy must always, always continue. Survivorship is complex, right? It's no one size fit all. Everybody's survivorship looks different. And you could be grateful and grieving at the same time. And everybody does not have to know what's happening. And I would say you don't have to hide it. Get therapy. There's a way you can release it. I encourage therapy, especially if you're going through a cancer diagnosis. That should be right in line with your whatever you're going through physically being treated for. You should be going mentally as well. Because you could be healed but still healing. I know that sounds weird, but you could be healed and yet still healing in the process. So don't let anybody tell you that you can't. You deserve to give yourself that space as you're healing. I see you and your experience is valid. So don't let anyone make you feel like it's not. So this is what I want you to do, because I always want, the show is all about action, right? And so I want to give you your call to action, what you should do, some things that you should do if you're listening to this show, if you're being kind and you rewinding the show. This is your call to action. Number one, if you know a survivor, ask how they're really doing. Look them in the eye and ask them, how you really doing? And wait for a response. And don't jump in there with, girl, yeah, I know, because, girl, this is what I'm going through. No, listen, acknowledge it, make them feel validated. So if you know a survivor, ask them how they're doing. That's one of your call to action. Ask them how they're doing. And if you are struggling emotionally, remember, there's strength in therapy. Go and get help. Get help. Don't try to do this by yourself. You shouldn't. Diane said, yes, you shouldn't. Don't try to do this by yourself. Get help. Ask for help and get help. You shouldn't have to go through this by yourself. And if you are a survivor and you have been postponing following up on stuff concerning your health, make an appointment. If you've been putting off your mammogram because you don't want to hear the same results that you've heard, if you have this ache or this pain that's been bothering you and you feel like, oh, it may be cancer, stop postponing it. If you're postponing changing your I don't want to say diet, but your lifestyle, you should not be operating the same way you were before cancer. If you have a cancer diagnosis, you should not be continuing business as usual. There should be some type of difference in your lifestyle. Whether it be your eating, whether it be your exercising, whether it be you minimizing stress, whether it be you getting enough sleep at night, whether it be you making sure you're carving out time to do self-care for you. And then your final call to action is to share this episode with someone who needs it. Because survivorship deserves a conversation. It deserves support and it deserves action. So I'm asking you to take action. Those are your action steps for this week, for this month. So let's talk about the other side of the title, right? The title is Cancer, the gift that keeps on giving. And cancer gives, it can linger for a lifetime. But what cancer also does is it gives you clarity, it gives you perspective, it gives you purpose, it gives you boldness, boundaries, urgency. It gives you a voice. It gave me advocacy. It gave me warriors talk. It gave me a mission. And while I would never say cancer is a blessing, but I can say that I refuse to waste what it did teach me. And it taught me power. And there's power in action. And I encourage you to take action. So you've been given your assignment for this week and for this month. And so as I close the show today, I'll leave you with this. Awareness starts the conversation, but action changes the outcome. And cancer may be the gift that keeps on giving, but so does resilience, so does community, so does advocacy. And your life is worth more than silence. Your health deserves continued attention, and your voice matters, especially after treatment ends. Thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady Rochelle, where we are changing lives one warrior at a time.
Thank you for listening to this week's edition of Warriors Talk with Lady Rochelle. To find out more about Warriors Talk, follow at Warriors Talk, the number 1, on all social media outlets, and Warriors Talk with Lady Rochelle on YouTube. Please join us next week and every Monday evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on IntellectualRadio.com for Warriors Talk with Lady Rochelle, where we encourage, educate, and empower you into action.